Dear students, in this video, we are going to learn about T.S. Eliot's Murder in the Cathedral. It was a best-known play by T.S. Eliot and it's the only completed work of historical drama. He has written this drama as in verse. Eliot concentrates the action of the play on December 1170, the month of Thomas Becket's murder. He is a main protagonist. Becket has returned to England following his exile in France because he has some disagreement with the king Henry II and he was exiled. Even though the disagreement is not at all settled, he returned to England. And Henry and Becket had formerly been close friends, and the king only appointed Becket as Archbishop of Canterbury. After that, Becket became so spiritual minded and he didn't agree with the plannings and the proposals of king. So there is a lot of disagreement arises. So that brings the exile of Thomas Becket. It's a brief summary. We are going to discuss about the themes being discussed in Murder in the Cathedral. It's written by T.S. Eliot. His full name is Thomas Stearns Eliot. It's written for the production at the Canterbury Festival, June 1935. Actual setting of the play, it's only happened, really happened in 12th century. It's happened in December 1170. The settings or the action take place in the play is Archbishop Hall is the first part, second part Canterbury Cathedral. And Eliot himself summarized this plot as the murder in the cathedral as it's about a man coming home, foreseeing that he will be killed before being killed. That means that the person is prepared to be killed. Just like Jesus Christ, he knows that he has to sacrifice his life for the people. He himself voluntarily comes and sacrifices his life. Same like that, the theme of murder in the cathedral also taken place. So the first theme is martyrdom, sacrifice. The poor women of Canterbury women. So this is contains the chorus. They have sings the song. For us the poor, there is no action, but only to wait and to witness. It means that we are so poor and we couldn't do anything about it. We can only wait and witness whatever happens in the society. And as far as Becket, not suffers for a cause and sacrifice his life. It means that he don't want to suffer for a reason. He want to sacrifice his life. And he's a witness to the reality of God's powers. Okay, he become a victim and he wants to show off the people that for the God power he wants to sacrifice his life. The spiritual pride that's also taken place here, approaching martyrdom in wrong spirit. It means that he wants to, it's something like getting a fame for sacrificing his life, become a martyr. And there is one of the tempter asking that, is there no way in my soul sickness does not lead to damnation with pride? I shall no longer act or suffer to the spot's end and accepting God's will. And so he thinks that it's the only way to reaching God by sacrificing his life. And will be simple, sudden, God given. All things prepare the event. I do not think I shall ever preach to you again. So this is the wordings he has given in the eve of Christmas. It means 24th night. That it's a very simple thing. End will be very simple and sudden and God given. All things prepare the event. I do not think I shall ever preach to you again. It means that I don't think that I will preach you again. It means my life may be end now itself. So he is predicting his murder. So another symbolism or the theme is the wheel. Okay, the wheel is the common image in medieval theology, and sometimes it's portrayed as God sits at the center of the large wheel and he is monitoring the time. So the time, wheel is always representing the time. So the wheel rotates, the time also goes on. Understands the system behind its rotations. So the rotations mean even though they all the times be something like alike, but we don't experience the we are not getting the experience the same. Okay, the previous time is somewhat very different from this time. Okay, our experiences differs from time to time. Thomas, it means Thomas Becket, seems martyrdom for earthly reasons at first. Okay, he wants to be a martyr because everyone will remember him and he will get the fame that he become a martyr. Now is my way clear. Now is the meaning plain. The lost temptation is the greatest treason to do the right deed for the wrong reason. Okay, so there's a tempters will come to him and tempting him to for doing some things or changing his mindset. So the last tempter saying that you are going to sacrifice your life just to get the fame. So that's the last line, to do the right deed for the wrong reason. Okay, so sacrificing your life for the spiritual sake is good, but the reason is not to get fame. It's just for the love of the God or for the goodness of the people. He has to do that. Okay, so to do the right deed for the wrong reason. So turning of the wheel says that the Beckett says that the wheel may turn and still be forever still. The fool, fixed in his folly, may think he can turn the wheel on which he turns. It means that he says that the wheel is turning and sometimes it's forever is still. The fool fixed in his folly, the fool may think that he can turn the wheel on which he turns. And the fool may think that he can change the past. Okay, there's a first tempter comes to him and says that you can go back to the past, just like be friend with King Henry II and agree with him and be his favorite, something like that. After he has comes to this war, has becomes the Archbishop of Canterbury and proclaimed that he has to do the right thing for the people, like for the church rules. So it's not good for him, or it's possible for him to go back to the past and change the present tense. So he thinks that the only the fool thinks that he can change the times. So, next one, flesh versus spirit. The play is it's so visible that Christian moral, martyr is not for freedom, not for fame, accepting God's call. Okay, overcome temptations, surrender to God's will, and good cause to trust none but God alone. Okay, so the good reason is to trust nobody else but God only. Refuse to fear death, face it for the faith in God. Okay, so this is a beautiful thing. We can even refuse to fear death because after the death we reach the God means there's nothing to fear about death. And sensual pleasures, political power, fight for liberty, everything is the temporary things. Okay, so he don't want to go about it. The eternal happiness after death, that is martyr. What can compare with the glory of saints dwelling forever in presence of God? So this line makes him to do the sacrifice. It means become a martyr. Okay. So these pleasures can't stand in front of the happiness and the glory gives to him as a martyr of God's sake. So finally, it is said that D. Jones, a critic, says the play is not just a dramatization of Beckett's death, it's a deep, searching study of the significance of the martyrdom. Okay, so it's not only about a person named Beckett's death, it's a deep study of significance of martyrdom. If anybody one wants to sacrifice his life for the spiritual sake, the main thing is he has to, his intention should be pure. It's not for worldly pleasures or worldly fame. Spiritual conquest, that is act of redemption. Okay, he want to he has to seek redemption as like Christ death, the death of martyrs. So Christ also sacrificed his life for the people's goodness. As like that, the martyrs should sacrifice their life for the goodness of the people, celebrating bravery and glory of theirs, making the sacrifice. Okay, so from this we can understand that uh, in order to sacrifice oneself, one should be brave, and he got glory that he is making the sacrifice. From the play, let us reconcile and get forgiveness from God. Okay, we acknowledge our trespass, our weakness, our fault. We acknowledge that the sin of the world is upon our heads. Lord, have mercy on us, upon us. Okay, this is the wordings of the chorus. After the death of Thomas Becket, they are praying to God that all the sins of the world is upon our heads. Lord, have mercy upon us. Okay. So this is a beautiful story of Thomas Becket. Once he was a best friend of Henry II and he got a Lord Chancellor position. Then the king thinks that as he is a best friend, he will agree with him in all accounts. So he make him as a Archbishop of Canterbury. As once he becomes the Archbishop of Canterbury, he becomes so devoted to the spiritual things, and he didn't agree with whatever says by Henry II. That's why there is a lot of problem arises, and the king exiled Archbishop uh, from England. Even though he is exiled, he continued to be archbishop. Everybody is thinking about him. While he is in France, he thinks that he is forsaking his duties as an archbishop and staying aside. That's why he returned to England and take up the position, even though he knows that it will brings the wrath of the king. Then, as he has expected, the king's men, 4 knights, arrived and gives him a warning that he should leave the place or have agreement with the king. He refused to do that, and even though the all the small priest mean wants to protect him by closing the doors of the Canterbury from entering these knights into the Canterbury, he asked the priest to open the gates because church is meant for everyone. They should not close God's door to anyone. That's why he even opened the doors for his own death. And the knights arrived there, and they are 4 knights are fully drunkard, and they have killed him brutally. So from this we can understand that there's a lot of ways for Thomas Becket to escape from this situation and save his life, but he chose to be a martyr. That's why he stayed around England. And in the play, after his death, these 4 knights that make confessions to the people or making them think that this thing is not done by them voluntarily. So may and they should not be angry with them. Finally, the chorus says that whatever is happens, there's Beckett is with the God. The God should the God have to mercy upon us, upon them. So it's a very beautiful play, verse drama, and it's a best play by T.S. Eliot. Thank you. Thank you.